In this video, we will practice taking quadratic functions like this and rewriting them in vertex form. And we will do that by completing the square. Now, vertex form is like this. Y equals a times x minus h squared plus k. So we will write functions like this in this form. And the neat thing about vertex form is the vertex will just be h comma k once you write it this way. Okay, so you should definitely be able to do number 14 by yourself. Please pause the video and try this problem by yourself. So first you should add 3 to both sides. And that's going to give you y plus 3 is equal to 3x squared minus 18x. However, before you can complete the square, we need to factor this 3 outside of parentheses. So that's going to leave x squared minus 6x and leave space to complete the square. Okay, we do half the middle squared. So half of the middle is negative 3. Negative 3 squared is positive 9. Now it looks like we just added 9. We really added 3 times 9. We really added 27. So that's what we need to add to the left side to keep the balance. So this is going to be y plus 30 is equal to 3 times, and we can easily go ahead and factor this trinomial. X squared will be x times x, 9 will be 3 times 3. The negative sign here tells us that both of these will be negative. So now we have y plus 30 is equal to 3 times x minus 3 squared. Now we just subtract 30 from both sides, and we're done. So that's going to be y equals 3 times x minus 3 squared minus 30. Vertex form. Now this one is going to involve fractions, you guys, so be emotionally prepared. I challenge you to stop the video and try this one by yourself first. So you first want to subtract the 2 from both sides just to get that out of the way. So that's going to leave you with y minus 2 is equal to 3x squared plus 9x. Now when you have a number here, you need to factor that outside of parentheses before you complete the square. So taking the 3 outside parentheses is going to leave me with 3x right here. Leave yourself enough space to complete the square. When we talk about completing the square, we are doing half of the middle, and then we're going to square that. This is not divisible by 2, so half the middle is simply 3 over 2. That's the best we can do. And then when we square that, that's going to give us 9 over 4. Okay, so we have fractions and we have to deal with them. Okay, now it's time for a little scratch paper work. Okay, it looks like we added 9 over 4 to both sides. But we really added 3 times 9 over 4. So I need to figure out what that is. So 3 times 9 over 4, well, that's like 3 over 1. So you just multiply straight across. So that's really going to be 27 over 4. So we didn't add 9 over 4. We really added 3 times 9 over 4, which is 27 over 4. that's why I'm going to add 27 over 4 to the left side to balance that out. Okay, now I need to add these two together, so that's going to be more scratch paper work. So I have -2 plus 27 over 4. Now this is like -2 over 1. So I need like denominators to do this. So this is going to be the same thing as -8 over 4 plus 27 over 4. So that's going to be 19 over 4. Okay, so that's what I'm going to add. That's what I'm going to get when I add these two together. So I will have y plus 19 over 4 equals. Now I have 3 times, and we need to go ahead and factor this trinomial down. X squared will be x times x. The 9 over 4 will be 3 over 2 times 3 over 2. Yes, the same 3 over 2 that we saw for a quick second when we did half the middle. That's always going to be what this is. Because this is positive in the middle term, I know that both of these will be positive. So now I have y plus 19 over 4 is equal to 3 times, and we can write x plus 3 over 2 squared since there's 2 of them. The last step is just to go ahead and subtract 19 over 4 from both sides to get y by itself. So here comes the final answer. Okay, that's the final answer for number 15. Alright, number 16. Be emotionally prepared. There are a lot of fractions in this problem. First, we need to subtract that 2 from both sides like we do. Get that out of the way. So now we have y minus 2 is equal to 2x squared plus 7x. Now, before we can complete the square, we need to factor this 2 outside of parentheses. And we will immediately have fractions when we do this, because when I take this 2 outside of the parentheses, that's going to leave x squared. But right away, how do I factor out a 2 when there's just an odd number sitting here? Well, it's going to just have to be 7 over 2, right? By factoring out the 2, we really are dividing by 2. All right, and if you think about it, if I were to do the distributive property and multiply this 2 back in, of course I would get 2x squared, but if I multiplied by 2 right here, these 2's would cancel out and it would give me back the 7x that I had. So it does make sense. Okay, now we have to complete the square. Now remember, I'm going to do half the middle and then I'm going to square that. Well, half of 7 over 2 is 7 over 4. Okay, maybe I should do something over here in my scratch paper zone. I don't know if you need it, but I don't want to lose anyone. Okay, if I had 7 over 2 and I'm doing half of this, I'm doing 1/2 times 7 over 2. You multiply straight across, so that's 7 over 4. Anyway, now I need to square this. So that's going to give me 49 over 16. Okay, I just squared the numerator and I squared the denominator. So half the middle squared. Okay, now it looks like I just added 49 over 16, but I really added 2 times 49 over 16. So what's that? Let's see, 2 times 49 over 16. Well, what I really encourage you to do is this. Divide these out. 2 goes into itself once, and 2 goes into 16 8 times. So 2 over 16 reduces down to 1/8. So really what I'm going to have left after that is 49 over 8. Just divide the 2 into the 16. That's the quickest way to do it. So that's really what I'm adding, is 2 times 49 over 16, which is 49 over 8. So that's what I need to add to the left-hand side to balance that out. Okay, now it looks like I have some more scratch paper work to do, because I need to add -2 plus 49 over 8. Alright, now this is -2 over 1. I need like denominators. So this is going to be -16 over 8 plus 49 over 8. So that's going to be 33 over 8. So that's what I'm going to get when I put these two together. So I'm going to have y plus 33 over 8 is equal to 2 times. And time to factor this down. X squared will be x times x. 49 over 16 will be 7 over 4, which we squared, by the way. But 7 over 4 is where that came from. Because the middle term is positive, I know that both of these will be positive. So that means right now I have y plus 33 over 8 is equal to 2 times x plus 7 over 4 squared. Last step is just to subtract the 33 over 8 from both sides. So that's going to give us y equals 2 times x plus 7 over 4 squared minus 33 over 8. Alright, and that is it for number 16. Number 17 will again have lots of fractions, but it's just like number 16. So please pause the video and try to do number 17 by yourself. So the first thing you should do is subtract 4 from both sides. So that's going to give you y minus 4 is equal to 2x squared minus 9x. Before you can complete the square, you need to factor the 2 outside of parentheses. So I'm going to put this 2 outside parentheses, leave space for a trinomial. So that's going to leave x squared. But, oh no! Here comes the first fraction right now. This is an odd number, so I can't really divide by 2 the way I normally would. all I can really do is put 9 over 2 like that. So the fractions begin. I still need to do half the middle, and then I need to square that. 9 over 2 divided by 2 is going to be 9 over 4. Now if I square that, it's going to be 81 over 16. So this is half the middle squared. Alright, I know we're going to need scratch paper, so I might as well set it up now. Okay, first of all, just to make sure you're 100% clear on what I just did, half of the middle. So that means half of 9 over 2, or I guess technically negative 9 over 2. When you multiply straight across. So half of 9 over 2 is going to be 9 over 4. I'm just multiplying straight across. And then, of course, squaring it, I square the top and the bottom. Anyway, moving on. Now it's time for the next scratch paper work. It looks like I added 81 over 16, but I really added 2 times 81 over 16. So I need to see what that is. What is 2 times 81 over 16? Well, the quickest way to do this is just to divide 2 into 16. Alright, 2 goes into itself once, 2 goes into 16 8 times. So this is really going to be 81 over 8. Okay, that's what you get when you multiply by 2. So it looks like I added 81 over 16. I really added 2 times 81 over 16, which is 81 over 8. So that's what I need to add on the left to balance out the equation. Okay, now it's time for more scratch paper work, because now I have negative 4 plus 81 over 8. Okay, negative 4 is like negative 4 over 1. I need like denominators, so I'm going to do this. Now that's going to give me negative 32 over 8 plus 81 over 8. So that's going to be 49 over 8. So that's going to give me y plus 49 over 8 equals. Alright, time to factor this trinomial down. X squared will be x times x. 81 over 16 will factor as 9 over 4 times 9 over 4. Okay, you can see it right there as well. Because the middle term is negative, both of these will be negative. So that's going to give me y plus 49 over 8 is equal to 2 times x minus 9 over 4 squared, since there's 2 of them. Last, I need to get y by itself by subtracting 49 over 8 from both sides. So I'll just do minus 49 over 8 on both sides. And this will give me the final answer as soon as I'm able to scroll down. So that's going to be y equals 2 times the quantity x minus 9 over 4 squared minus 49 over 8. Let's do one more problem. Again, this is going to be tricky with the fractions, but we've done 2 like this now. So please pause the video and do this problem by yourself. You need to start by adding 10 to both sides. So that's going to leave you with y plus 10 is equal to 3x squared plus 7x. Now, before we can complete the square, we need to take this 3 outside of the parentheses. Now, of course, when we factor out this 3, that's going to leave x squared. But what about the 7? Well, normally we would divide by 3. For example, if I had 3x squared plus 12x, and I needed to factor out the 3, that would be x squared plus 4x. Alright, I just did 12, and then I divided by 3. Now, 7 is not divisible by 3, so the best I can do is to put 7 divided by 3 like that, 7 over 3. Alright, now it's time to complete the square, which means that I need to take half of the middle and then I need to square that. So half of the middle. So that means half of 7 over 3. Well, that's going to be 7 over 6. You just multiply straight across. So half of the middle is 7 over 6. And then 7 over 6 squared is 49 over 36. Alright, so that's what I use to complete the square. Now it looks like I just added 49 over 36. But I really added 3 times 49 over 36. So what is that? What is 3 times 49 over 36? Well, the best thing to do is just to divide this 3 into 36. 3 goes into itself once, 3 goes into 36 12 times. So this is really going to be 49 over 12. So it looked like I added 49 over 36. I really added 3 times 49 over 36, which is 49 over 12. So that's what I need to add on the left-hand side, is 49 over 12. Which brings me to my final scratch paper work. I need to add 10 plus 49 over 12. So I need to do 10 plus 49 over 12. Now this is like 10 over 1, and I need like denominators. So I'm going to do this. So this is 120 over 12 plus 49 over 12. So that's going to be, let's see, 169 over 12. So that's what I'm going to get on the left hand side. I'm going to have y plus 169 over 12 is equal to, there's that 3. Now let's go ahead and factor this out. X squared is x times x. 49 over 36 is 7 over 6 times 7 over 6. Alright, it came from right here. So 7 over 6 times 7 over 6. Because the middle term is positive, I know that this will be plus and plus. So I could write y plus 169 over 12 is equal to 3 times x plus 7 over 6 squared. That just leaves subtracting 169 over 12 from both sides. Alright, and then we are ready for the final answer, which is going to be y equals, don't crash, y equals 3 times x plus 7 over 6 squared minus 169 over 12. Alright guys, that's going to do it for this video. Go ahead and click here in the red apple to watch the next video. Click in the green apple to subscribe, or click the yellow apple for the full playlist.